Welcome to the 10 Minutes Gold Mine, where every book gives you a treasure of knowledge in just 10 minutes. Why do so many people struggle to work less and achieve more? Have you ever wondered why some people seem to get so much done while working fewer hours, while others are stuck working all the time yet barely make progress? Rework by Jason Fried and David Heinemeier Hansson provides a radical answer. Work less, accomplish more. It argues that the more you focus on the right things, the less time you'll need to spend working. Let's explore how you can apply this approach to boost productivity, cut through the noise, and focus on what truly matters. But how can you make this shift in a world that's obsessed with the hustle and grind? Let's dive into the key concepts of rework and discover how less can actually be more. The case against traditional business wisdom. In today's business culture, the mantra is often to work harder, put in longer hours, and hustle nonstop. But according to Rework, this approach is not only outdated, but counterproductive. The authors argue that we've been sold the myth that more effort equals more success. Instead, they challenge us to rethink how we define work and productivity. The traditional approach to business is about scaling, expanding, and always aiming for growth. But Rework advocates for a simpler, more streamlined approach. The goal should not be to work more, but to work smarter. This means cutting down on unnecessary meetings, avoiding complex plans, and focusing on what truly matters. So how much time could you save by simply eliminating the excess? Interruptions are the enemy. If you've ever struggled to focus because of constant interruptions, you know how much they can destroy productivity. Rework emphasizes that interruptions are one of the biggest productivity killers in any workplace. They suggest that you need to build a culture where interruptions are minimized and deep, focused work is prioritized. The book pushes for a shift from open offices to quiet workspaces, and from constant meetings to scheduled time for deep focus. This idea is not about creating a work environment free from all distractions, but about ensuring that interruptions are controlled and that deep work is prioritized. By doing so, you can make far more progress in fewer hours. How much better would your workday be if you could focus without constant disruption? Meetings are a waste of time. How much of your day is consumed by meetings? In Rework, the authors argue that meetings are one of the biggest productivity traps. Most meetings are too long, unnecessary, and unproductive. They drain energy, distract from deep work, and take up valuable time that could be spent getting things done. The authors propose that instead of gathering for meetings, you focus on asynchronous communication, emails, or even a quick stand-up session. The key is to avoid bringing everyone together just for the sake of it. When you eliminate the clutter of endless meetings, you free up time to do actual work. How many hours of your week could you reclaim by eliminating unnecessary meetings? Embrace constraints and work with what you have. One of the central ideas of Rework is that constraints can actually help you be more creative and productive. Rather than viewing limitations as obstacles, the authors argue that they should be seen as opportunities to focus on what matters most. By limiting your resources, whether it's time, budget, or people, you are forced to get creative and do more with less. The authors also suggest that businesses should focus on keeping their teams small, because smaller teams are more agile, faster to make decisions, and easier to manage. With fewer resources, you'll quickly realize what's essential and what's not. What constraints could you put in place that would force you to focus on what really moves the needle? Start before you're ready. Another key concept in Rework is the idea that you don't have to wait for everything to be perfect before you begin. In fact, the perfect moment to start is often an illusion. The authors stress that the best way to learn and grow is by starting small, making mistakes along the way, and iterating quickly. This challenges the typical plan everything out mentality and instead encourages action. Instead of getting bogged down in preparation, you should start now, even if you don't have all the answers. As you move forward, you'll learn what works, what doesn't, and how to improve. So what would happen if you stopped waiting for the perfect plan and just started today? Don't fear being a small business. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that you need to grow into a large company to be successful. But Rework flips this notion on its head. It argues that being small is a huge advantage. Small companies can be more nimble, innovative, and responsive to change. Instead of trying to scale up quickly, focus on staying small and efficient, keeping your team tight-knit and your processes streamlined. Rather than obsessing over rapid growth and expansion, Rework encourages entrepreneurs to embrace the benefits of staying small and lean. This way, you avoid unnecessary complexity and can concentrate on producing high-quality work that meets the needs of your customers. What could you achieve by staying small and agile, rather than following the typical growth-at-all-costs mindset? Good enough is often perfect. In the world of business, we're often told that good is never enough, that we must aim for perfection. But Rework challenges this idea by encouraging the mindset of good enough. Perfection can be the enemy of progress, and striving for it can lead to unnecessary delays and frustration. Instead, aim for high quality, but accept that things don't have to be flawless. By aiming for good enough, you avoid getting stuck in the trap of perfectionism and can focus on delivering value quickly. The authors argue that this approach fosters innovation. As you're willing to release your product or idea before it's perfect, learn from real feedback, and improve. So could your projects benefit from releasing sooner and improving along the way? Say no to unnecessary features. How many times have you found yourself adding unnecessary features to a product or project just to make it seem more complete? In Rework, the authors stress that adding more features can actually harm your product by making it more complicated, harder to use, and less effective. Instead, they advocate for simplicity. Focus on the core features that solve the problem your customers face, and cut out everything else. This approach results in a product that's easier to use, more efficient, and ultimately more valuable. How much more effective could your products be if you stripped away everything that isn't absolutely necessary? Why business plans are overrated? Business plans are often seen as essential to success, but Rework suggests that they're often a waste of time. Instead of spending months creating elaborate business plans, the authors encourage entrepreneurs to focus on action, results, and feedback. The idea is that you can't predict everything, so why try to? Instead, focus on learning as you go and adjusting based on what works. By throwing away the idea of rigid long-term plans, you free yourself from the constraints of thinking you have to follow a specific path. This approach allows you to remain flexible and adapt quickly to changing circumstances. What if you stopped planning every detail and just focused on taking action? The power of rest and time off. In a world where working long hours is often seen as a badge of honor, Rework argues that taking time off is essential to doing your best work. The authors emphasize the importance of rest, sleep, and vacations, as these recharge your mind and make you more creative and productive when you return. By prioritizing breaks and time off, you actually improve your long-term performance. What would happen if you stopped glorifying busyness and started valuing time away from work to recharge? Conclusion: work less, achieve more. In Rework, Jason Fried and David Heinemeier Hansson teach us that success doesn't come from working harder or longer, but from working smarter. By eliminating the unnecessary, embracing constraints, and focusing on what truly matters, we can do more with less. So what small change can you make today to start working less and achieving more? That's it for today's 10 minutes. Gold mine. If you find value in this, don't forget to like and subscribe. We upload +5 videos each day. Lastly, if you have any book in mind that you want to listen to, feel free to type the name in the comments. See you in the next one.